This is the Crimson Isle, the modern version of the revamped Blazing Fortress that was released all the way back in 2019, where endgame players made millions of coins from farming Ember Rods, and much like its historical counterpart, the modern Crimson Isle provides some of the best money making methods in the entire game. People making millions of coins from Kudra, Blaze Slayer, lava fishing, and the list goes on. But the one fundamental problem is that each of these methods all require hella expensive endgame gear to some degree. But due to the somewhat recent anti-inflation patch causing a lot of these high tier weapons to fall off in price, I think now is the absolute perfect opportunity to use a specific budget money maker to get as many coins as possible so you can then buy expensive gear whilst it's still relatively cheap. Speaking of gear, let's just jump straight into what gear requirements we're gonna need for this method. Starting with the armour, I'd recommend a full set of Terra along with a Juju bow, as well as using around a level 80 or so epic blaze pet, as it increases your stats whilst in the Crimson Isle. Some other stuff that would just make this method a lot easier is an AOTE, a full Vanquished equipment set, warp scroll to the Crimson Isle, and you can even swap your Terra helm with a Tarantula helm if you get enough strength. But do note that this is just the bare minimum. I would highly recommend you put stars on your Terra, max out your Juju, and get as much magical power as physically possible for the mobs we are about to kill. So, what are we actually going to farm? Well, if you hop over near the Barbarian area, there are these mobs called Flaming Spiders, which have a 20% chance to drop Burning Eyes, which I will touch more on later. Since we're using Terra armor, we're obviously going to get the 10 stacks as you normally would, but to kill these guys in the most effective manner possible, I would try and use the piercing enchant to hit multiple spiders at once so we can kill them even faster. And as you can see, they are quite tanky. The typical route is to just go around this side of the volcano killing all of the spiders in roughly this order, and once you've done that, just go back to the original starting post near the entrance of the Barb faction. It can look a little complicated at first, but trust me, if I could do it with my trash EU ping, I'm sure you can too. Now, that's enough of me talking about this method for so long now. Let's actually talk about the real deal, like how many coins this money maker gets us. Like I said with the aforementioned Burning Eyes, these can craft some pretty obscure items like the Berserker set. And let's be honest, no one has ever touched this armor set in their literal entire existence, and I don't even know why it exists, to be honest. So instead of crafting that, we are going to be opting for Snail Pets, notorious for completely breaking the Crimson Isle upon release. To craft one Snail Pet, it requires around 1.6 mil worth of other materials and 128 Burning Eyes. From my tests, I was getting an average of about 384 Burning Eyes an hour, which equates to exactly 3 Snail Pets per hour. Each epic rarity sells for about 3 mil and each legendary sells for 7 mil. However, after deducting the 1.6 mil cost from other mats, it means you'll actually make a 1.4 mil profit per epic and 5.4 mil per legendary. So even if your RNG is completely trash and you only get epics, you can still make a guaranteed profit each craft, which I think is a huge bonus. Another point to be aware of though is that you do need 25k red sand collection in order to craft the pets. But it only takes about 30 minutes to get with a basic efficiency 5 golden shovel, and you'll make a few extra coins whilst you're doing it, so it's a win-win. Now the next thing that makes this method so good is pet luck. Obviously the higher your pet luck, the better your chances are of making a legendary pet. Personally, I can get up to 133 pet luck at max, and this is where this method can get even better if Mayor Diana is elected with her lucky perk, boosting the stat by another 25 points. Anyway, after doing a bunch of boring math, which trust me is actually really boring, I calculated that you get over 3.28 mil profit per pet that you craft with 133 pet luck. If you're interested in how to calculate your own profit using your own pet luck, I will leave the formula of how to do it in the description. It's honestly not that hard, but it is just a bit tedious. Anyway, without getting sidetracked, like I said earlier, we could craft up to 3 pets per hour at max efficiency, which means we can make almost 10 million coins per hour with our current setup. But in the title I said we can make up to 23 mil per hour, so what type of degenerate crappy clickbait is this? Well, not to worry, because there are so many other things you can add to make this method even better. For example, Tarantula Slayers for Toxic Arrow Poison, Spooky Festivals for green and purple candy, Vanquishers for extra nether stars, and pet leveling for passive income. These all contribute to making way more coins per hour, but obviously they are not very convenient as you might have to wait for a spooky festival or something. However, the best part about this method by far is definitely if you have a maxed out Hyperion Mage setup. Now I know what you're thinking. I advertise this method as being a budget guide, and the Hyperion is definitely not a budget weapon by any means. But if you do end up grinding for long enough using any method just like this one and you buy a Hyperion, the rates are actually unbelievable. Since I don't have a hype, I got my friend Simo8 to kill these spiders for 5 minutes, and I watched him get over 75 burning eyes with average RNG. This means he can make just over 7 snail pets per hour and get on average 23 million coins each hour. Now, obviously I am aware after this video drops the prices of snail pets are pretty much certainly going to tank. So my advice is before you start this method is to check the prices of a level 1 epic and legendary snail and then remove the crafting cost of each pet away from it to see the raw profit you're going to get on a more up-to-date standard. As I'm writing and starting to record this video, it is August 1st, so you know, I can't really predict the future prices. But if you want to know of a money making method that is far more beginner friendly and arguably even better than this one if you have cracked RNG, then you can watch the video that is on screen right now for more info on that. And if you did find this video helpful at all, I would greatly appreciate it if you quickly just like and subscribe, as it really does mean a huge lot to small sized content creators like myself. Anyway, that is all today from me folks, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace.